guys, my name is shalanabattles. I am the author of 3 books: Soul Jumper, a paranormal romance; The Man Before You, a contemporary romance; and Encampment, a young adult fantasy. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. Today's going to be a little shorter, maybe. We'll see. Sometimes I start talking and that no longer applies. But I wanted to do today's video because last week, I started talking about the 16-day challenge where I was going to try to write 50,000 words in 16 days. And I failed. Miserably. Failure. 1, 2, 3, 4 days. 4 days, not even consecutive days, because I had 2 days and then didn't write for 2 days and then I wrote for 2 days. So it was terrible. And I did a video about a light bulb moment that I had with this book that I'm working on. And I really think that was why my 16-day challenge didn't go well, was because prior to kind of having that moment, I was so stuck. I had no idea. I don't want to call it writer's block because I had the story, right? I had the plan. I knew what I wanted to happen. But there was this huge piece of information I did not have. And so for me, I was really struggling writing. So, I mean, in that sense, I guess it was writer's block. But I needed to figure that piece out. I needed to figure out that element that I was missing, or I was never going to get anywhere with this book. And so, needless to say, failure on the 16-day challenge. But I figured out the element. I figured out what it was with this book and what the book needed. And I'm really excited about it now. Writing has been going a lot better. And kind of a turning point for that came yesterday, which is what I wanted to update you guys on, is this series that I'm working on and kind of how I want it to lay out over these next few months. And so I contacted my editor yesterday and I said, hey, I am working on this series, which she knew, and I want to do more of like a rapid release with these because I don't want to be in a position where I publish a book, the first book in the series, and then, you know, people are waiting 6, 8, 12 months for the second one. I didn't want to do that. And so the series is 4, possibly 6 books. 4 books for sure, possibly 6. And so I'm planning to release them in 2s. And so books 1 and 2 will be released on the same day, 3 and 4 the same day. And then if I continue with 5 and 6, those will be on the same day. And me and my editor talked for a long time yesterday about the best way to make that happen. And prior to kind of figuring out what my first book was missing, I wasn't really confident in moving forward with the series, where now I'm like super confident and was like, let's publish these tomorrow, but you know, you gotta write them first. And so I told her my plan and kind of what I wanted to do. And she was like, okay, well, realistically, what are you thinking? Me biting off more than I can chew like usual. I'm like, let's release them in February. Like, I really wanted to have another book out before the end of this year, but with, you know, writing and beta readers and editors and turnaround, I just didn't see that happening for me. Especially if I want to release 2 books at a time. I don't have enough months in the year to get 2 books out at once. And that was more important to me, releasing the books in 2s, than getting a book out before the end of the year. My editor responds with, when is your baby due? And those of you that follow me on social media, you know that I'm pregnant, and my baby's due January 20th. And so to publish a book, at this point we were looking at early February, you know, depending on when I have my child, 2-ish weeks later. She's like, do you really think that's a good idea. Like, she was supportive, but she was like, I want you to, put yourself in that space and think about you having a newborn and, everything that's going to be going on right then. Is that when you really want to try to do a book release? And I was like, yes, it is, but it's probably not a smart idea. Because in my mind, I get really, bogged down with months. And so when she's saying, oh, maybe February is not the best idea, and I'm like, oh, March, now we're 3 months into the new year, or April, now we're 4 months into the new year. My brain is like, get the books out, publish the books. And so everything else that's going on kind of takes a back burner, and that has happened in the past. And I don't know if other people that publish feel the same way, but, even my husband noticed it whenever I publish a book. Like, I just published Encampment, right? And so everything else kind of goes on pause for at least that week, sometimes longer. Definitely the 2 weeks prior to me uploading to Amazon when I'm doing edits and stuff, and then actual release week, it's like, that is tunnel vision. That is where my focus is. And everything else is back burner stuff, house stuff, errands, whatever the case may be, right? The only exception to that is my son. And so I was like, okay, she's probably right. I am going to want to put all this focus into this book, but I'm going to have a newborn baby and might not be the best idea. So I thought about it some more and was like, okay, what if we push till the end of February? What if my baby's closer to a month old, which is still really young, still a newborn, but my mom and my dad plan to come when I have the baby. One of my very best friends in the whole wide world plans to come when I have the baby as well. And when I had my son, having those people there helped me tremendously. And I know this is I'm kind of going all over the place here, but stick with me. We'll veer back to writing. But yeah, having them there was amazing, right? My mom did a lot of stuff for me. She obviously helped with the baby. She helped with house stuff, with cleaning, with cooking, just really whatever I needed. And my best friend was the same way. If I needed her to run an errand for me, go somewhere. I was in the hospital for 3 nights, 4 days. So her going back and forth to the house, they just took so much stress off of me. And so it's maybe toward the end of February would be good, because by that point, both of them will have been here. They may still be here, but even if they're not, I will have had that kind of transition of help. I'll have my mom, I'll have my best friend. My dad will probably be here, and he helps a ton as well. Him and my son are best friends. And so kind of that transition will be coming to a close, where either they've already left by the end of the February or they're getting ready to leave. But I feel I'll be in a better place because I will have had that transition, and I'll have people around me to kind of help me support me in going from 1 kid to 2 kids. And obviously my husband will be here too, and he's a huge help, and he can take time off work. And so I started thinking about all of those things and okay, really seriously, where am I going to be at? And what's the best time? So we lean toward the end of February. And I think I have, probably won't say a date, but did we pick a date? Let me see. Yes, we did pick a date, but I didn't put it in my phone calendar, and I need to do that. Okay, but yes, end of February is what we decided. So now I told Laura, I was like, okay, these last 3 books, Laura's my editor, something that I really want to do differently this time is plan better. And she laughed and I laughed because I'm terrible at it. But I'm like, I'm really attempting to like plan this out better. And I know the time it takes. You know what I mean? I know, okay, it's going to take me 2 weeks to do this. It's going to take my betas 2 weeks to do this. It's going to take Laura 4 weeks to do this. But I've never really like set hard deadlines for myself. Like me and Laura have like loose, kind of let me know when, on my end, she has deadlines that she sticks to, and she's very great about that. But on my end, it's more like finish the book when you finish it, let me know, we'll go from there, you know. And I want to move away from that because it's not working for me. And that's not on my editor, that's on me. And I want to move away from that. So I told her that yesterday when we were talking. I was like, okay, I really want stricter deadlines for myself, because my entire life, when I was young, when I was in high school, when I was in college, when I was in grad school, I worked amazing on deadlines. I'm still a procrastinator. I'll still push it to the last minute, but I've never missed a deadline. And that works well for me when I know, like, this is the day I have to do it, period. A professor is expecting it, or my job is expecting it, or whatever. And so I was like, I need to move more towards that, where I have very strict deadlines, and then have my editor be kind of my hold me accountable person, and knowing that she's expecting it that day and kind of really planning ahead for that, I think is going to drastically improve the amount of work I'm able to get done. So we looked at that, and I said, okay, if we want to publish this day in February, let's work our way backwards and figure out what that deadline is going to be on these check-in points and days. So that leads me to me failing this 16-day challenge, but me also about to start a new challenge, because for this to work the way we want it to, and to have 2 books out the same day in February, I have, let's see, today, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13 days, 14 if you count today, days to get my first draft done. So that needs to be done by October 3rd. First draft of the first book complete, ready to go. To get there, I need about 50,000 more words. So a lot in 14 days. Failed a 16-day challenge, and now we're gonna try a 14-day challenge. It makes so much sense. Anyways, and then I gave myself a week to edit, and if you guys watched my editing video, I'll print that, I'll go through by hand, I will edit, it'll be good. Next week, the following week, so we're in October 11th, I will send it out to beta readers. 2 weeks for them to get it back to me, and then a week for me to work with their feedback, and then it goes to Laura on November 1st. So November 1st, she will get the first book in this series. And that's the only way this is going to work, with holidays and everything else at the end of the year, for me to get her 2 books and her to edit 2 books and then get them back to me in enough time to publish at the end of February. And so it's crunch time. And if this doesn't happen, I'm honestly the only one to blame. And so that's where I'm at. I'm at this point with this series where these 2 books, book 1 and 2, they're coming out in February. They're coming out in February. If I say it enough times, it's going to happen. They are coming out in February. But now we have 14 days for me to finish this draft so that we stay on this timeline, right? And so that's where we're at. And I think it'll be really fun to post updates about this on Instagram and on TikTok. I obviously stopped posting about the 16-day challenge because I stopped doing it. But this one, it's like, we're in this. This is as serious as it gets. And so I am super excited that I have this new plan. I'm also disappointed in a way because I wanted at least one of these books out when I was making goals for this year at the beginning of this year, my goal was to have out a lot more books than just Encampment. But life happens, right? And all I can do now is be excited about the fact that my editor and I have a new plan. We have dates. And we're moving forward with this. And by the end of February, I will have 2 more books out. So I hope that you guys continue to stick with me on this journey. The next 14 days are going to be insanity. And so, yeah, keep checking in with me on Instagram and on Facebook. I'll probably, Wednesday when I post again on YouTube, do kind of an update of word count and where we're at and all of that. But yeah, it's going to be wild. So, if you have questions about the next 14 days, the challenge, anything, self-publishing, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. And believe in yourself. That's what I'm doing. It's been a struggle lately, but believe in yourself and try to stay positive and just keep working toward what it is that you want, what it is that you are trying to attain. You know, I watched 2 YouTube videos today, ones I always watch. So I watched Sarah Sutton, obviously, and I watched the Courtney Project, who she's half of Kennedy Fox. They're both romance writers, and both of them today, which is very fitting, talked about keeping in mind why you started doing this, you know, why you started writing, because it's not going to be all good, and it's not going to be like all days where you're like, dang, I killed it and I'm so proud of myself. You're going to have days that are not that way, and that's okay. Just keep reminding yourself, this is why I'm doing this, because I love it, because I'm passionate about it, because I have stories that I believe in my heart are meant to be told. And don't give up on yourself, and don't give up, period. You know, keep pushing forward. The Courtney Project said that today, that, you know, this is a long-term game. It's not a short-term thing. And so if this is what you really want, and for me personally it is, it's what I really want, and I've got to keep chasing it. And so if that's you, regardless of what it is, if it's writing, if it's something else, keep pushing forward. Keep pushing forward, because if it's what you want and you're passionate about it, you will be successful. You just have to keep moving forward. So, thank you all so much for continuing to support me. Encampment is on Kindle Unlimited. My other 2 books, Soul Jumper and The Man Before You, are also available on Amazon. Please, please, please review books when you read them. And I will see you guys soon. Have an amazing week. Have a great Monday. And thank you.